So while I am a practitioner and love the Anat Baniel method, I'm also a parent and know that not every method is a one-size-fits-all solution. So let's dive into the pros and the cons of the Anat Baniel method. So the first amazing thing about this method is that it's a learning method. It works because it supports the brain to learn new information. It focuses on creating a safe environment for the child to learn new skills. It's the brain that operates all of our muscles and coordinates our movements to move our bodies, our skeleton system, through space. Our brain has to coordinate all of these movements. Good movement and learning new developmental milestones isn't just about muscle strength, but it's how well your child's brain can organize their movements. So when you can tap into your child's learning brain by giving them quality information through slow, gentle movements, their brain can learn how to better organize their whole system. So it's a learning modality first, not a physical therapy. As a practitioner, we're trying to access the potential of your child's brain, and that's an amazing benefit. The second amazing thing about the Anat Baniel method is that the foundation is all about nervous system safety. So for the brain to learn any new skill, it needs to feel safe. That's why we use slow, gentle movements and meet your child where they're at. By exploring movements that feel safe for the nervous system for your unique child, instead of pushing their nervous system into fight or flight through painful stretching, through going hard, through pushing past their comfort and into pain and exhaustion, that's not how brains learn new skills. By keeping the nervous system safe and regulated and exploring tiny micro movements of quality information. So that nervous system has the capacity to take in that incoming quality information and make sense out of it and turn it into something useful for that unique child. That's where the magic lies. So it's working with your child's nervous system instead of against it. So the third amazing benefit about the Anat Baniel method is that it works for almost any diagnosis because it's a brain-based learning modality, not symptom-based. We're not trying to fix anything. We're working with the child's own abilities and potential to upgrade. Neuroplasticity is real. The brain is able to learn new skills at any age with almost any diagnosis. Using simple tools like Anat Baniel's 9 essentials, such as going slow, reducing the force, adding in variation, are scientifically proven to increase learning outcomes. And if you want the science research about that, go check out Michael Merznick's work. Now, you're probably thinking that the Anat Baniel method sounds amazing and you're excited to give it a try with your child, but there are some negatives about ABM that you should know before you try it. So the first thing that you should be aware of before you try the Anat Baniel method is that it's not a quick fix. Now, I've seen some pretty wild miracles of ABM where it's instantly been able to reorganize a child's brain to create immediate changes. But for most people and most children, this upgrade of the brain is a process. It's a learning process. And often the changes are very, very small and sometimes imperceptible to the outside world or people outside of your family. So the most common small changes that you might notice in your child is a little bit better balance, a little bit better coordination, a little bit more head control, a little bit more eye contact, a little bit more awareness of what's happening around them, a little bit more emotional regulation, maybe better sleep. Now, these small changes might not seem like much to the outside world, but can make dramatic internal shifts in their nervous system for their ability to take in incoming information and create change out of it. So in the beginning, it can seem like these tiny little foundational building blocks being gathered up by the brain and the nervous system, slowly adding until it becomes this giant snowball of changes that eventually create those larger milestone changes that we're all looking for. So for most children that I'm working on, I'll focus on the head, the spine, and the pelvis and explore teeny tiny movements that don't look like very much. But for a child to learn how to reach over, to roll over, to have better head control, to learn how to come up into sitting on their own, crawling and standing, their brains need to know how to organize the head, the spine, and the pelvis. So these smaller, tiny micro movements lay the foundation for the larger milestones. And for the most part, it's usually a process. It's a learning process. It's not a quick fix. And the second thing that is negative about the Anat Baniel method is that it's not accessible for most families. Not everybody lives in an area where there's a practitioner, and in most places you have to pay out of pocket for, so it can be really financially challenging. And that's why I became a practitioner myself, is because I realized I wanted my daughter to reach her potential for the rest of her life. I wanted to be able to give my daughter the skills for her to become a really good learner. I wanted her to move past those basic milestones of head control and rolling over. I wanted to look into the future and help her reach her potential into the future. So I was fortunate and stubborn enough to become a practitioner as a single mom of 3 kids. But I know that's not possible for everybody. And I really truly think that these concepts should be accessible for all families. That's why I create these videos on YouTube, and I also have an online library inside my Mindful Movement program, which the links will be below. Now back to another amazing thing about the Anat Baniel method is that it can help to reduce spasticity. And I got a lot of online questions about how to reduce spasticity. So here's a video walking you through some very simple, gentle movements that you can try to help reduce spasticity in the arm. And I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye.